Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Frost and Fire. A little reminder of the community challenge rules. Specifically, I would like to point out the one, you may not use mods other than user interface mods. A lot of my YouTube comments have been suggesting mods that clearly are not user interface mods. And if you'd like to play along, rhadamant.com/frostandfire, or better yet, just on the Steam Workshop, Frost and Fire. So we left off on a little bit of a cliffhanger. We do have some Reapers inbound. This is something that I think we're now sort of prepared for. Some of the steel walls out here are not necessarily fully, how should we say, repaired, but I'm not going to be repairing them right now anyway, because I would like to save my hypothermia buildup for when we are shooting at them. So let's see what we've got. We have got Gort and Carp from the east. They have pretty light weapons. And then we've got, oh, this will be very easy, Triforza and Nodachi from the north. Again, not weapons to be concerned about. They are melee weapons, and it should be relatively easy for us to dispatch them with no problem at all. So let me force everybody inside for a minute. So that they warm up, and we get ready. Oh, interesting. Gort and Carp split up. Because I'm trying to ditch as much of my hypothermia as possible. Another thing, Crag mentioned that it might be worth me setting up the heaters like this so that the bed is fully illuminated in case we need to do doctoring. We'll be able to do that easily. And then I'm also going to move the plants right next to the door as a result, so that it's easier to plant. We don't have to climb over stuff to plant it. Alright, let's go ahead, and I would like to try to minimize the amount of steel I use defending myself, so I am going to not have the turrets on, because of course they use steel when they fire, and instead just try to take care of Gort the old-fashioned way, which doesn't seem to be working. So instead of risking myself, let me plug these in. Because these skeletons are tough. Let me tell you, they are tough. Okay, as long as they're not going to destroy the turrets, that's fine. Let's go ahead and get Bash to start repairing this one. As you can see, the amount of gunfire that they take it can be simply mind-boggling. Oh, and here comes some more from the north. But that's by design. They're supposed to be tough like this. There's still some sessile trees that I've yet to knock down, but a brawler won't be taking cover behind them. JD is seriously hypothermic. I'm going to have him... Oh, yep, he's fine now. Everybody's going inside. Let me power these down. Pretty easy. As far as wake up goes, let me save wake up right here. Eventually, I plan on having proper shelves and all of that stuff for drugs like wake up, but for now, I'm going to keep the wake up inside. This wake up will help you. It is not supposed to be a combat drug, but you can treat it as a combat drug in a pinch. In a pinch. Alright, I'm going to have them move the beds around. Sorry, everybody. Disturbing some sleep. It's probably not all that necessary, but hey, you know, whatever. Okay, negative 77 in the mining cave. Far too cold to really be all that, you know, productive out there. Still negative 110 Celsius, negative 165-ish Fahrenheit. So we are talking dangerously cold. Even at the end of December. The next goal I want... Oh, another thing that a lot of people pointed out was the lack of redundancy, because this... Here, if this breaks, you know, all the cables break or whatever, I'm not all that worried about this. A lot of people mentioned, like, oh, you don't have true redundancy. The chances of this taking damage in such a way that it would become a problem is next to nil, but just to soothe your fears, I will deal with it. All right, so now, coming up on a new day, I would like JD to continue to hunt the mega spiders that are down here. So we've got some mega scarabs and some hollowable blood spiders, and then we also have, no, actually nothing over there is worth anything. But that mega scarab can be hunted. We have some plants that are ready to harvest. Gabe, I think you need to get on that. Yes, there you go. All right, so JD is not going to be hauling that. Let's go unrestrict and hunt this scarab. And we'll slowly start to haul those scarabs in. If you were wondering, this mod up here is called Heat Map. It just shows you the outdoor temperatures. It's a little glitchy because of the unbelievable temperatures that are happening. So that's why its display is all sorts of weird and wrong. If you click it, it will give you sort of a little overlay of what the temperatures are inside your base. What's too cold, what's too warm, etc., etc. But I like to keep that off. Again, I'm only considering UI mods and UI mods only for use in Frost and Fire. Now that this battery bank is fully charged up, let's switch them. There we are. Gabe's getting hypothermic. That was no surprise. I'm going to have you stay, or JD rather, going to stay inside for a bit. As I'm sure you've noticed, I have a pretty good amount of rice, so I'm going to start regrowing. I'm sure some of you may have noticed that I did not put heel root back, and that was because I was worried that the blight that I had really knocked out my food supply, but it really didn't. So I'm gonna put that back. We're gonna butcher the skeletons and then butcher the bugs. Now the observed corpse is a bug with Frost and Fire. Fully gonna admit that. I have it offset by the butcher skeletons mood, so that we offset the fact that we saw corpses with butchering them. But butchering them does not give you a colony-wide mood buff. Oh, we have another raid. Wow, these guys just won't relent. So this is a mixed melee ranged raid. Most of the rangers, except for this one, have shorter ranged weapons. To that end, I'm going to schedule everyone to stay close. JD, I would like you to start fixing these barricades. And Bash, you're going to do the same. Actually, Bash, you're going to repair the turrets. I don't want to get too hypothermic, but they were preparing a while, so I do have some breather room. They're not coming immediately, which is I'm going to use to my benefit. Now, I don't believe these are going to be rearmed, need to be rearmed before this fight. Trying to make the area a little bit nicer, too, so it's not so hideous. And let's butcher. JD can stay out here a lot longer than Bash. So another one of the comments mentioned that when turrets blow up, they will take out the walls adjacent. The reason why I have the walls here is so that we can effect repairs safely. That's more important to me than not losing some steel walls. These steel walls are pretty cheap, right? Steel is a very common resource. I'm using it up really, really fast, but steel is a pretty common resource that we have here in Frost and Fire. So I'm not that worried about the amount of steel that I am, let's call it, wasting when I blow up my walls. But they are uranium turrets. They're tougher. they should withstand a bit of damage. Alright, Gabe, I'm going to have them clean up a little bit, just so it's not so hideous, for mood's sake. These guys should be coming in soon, so who do we have? Mitaru, Fujin, Bishop, Maverick, Bishop, 2 Bishops, Boron, and Metalhead. I'm pretty sure I know how Metalhead got his name. Okay, another thing that I hadn't done is I have not yet filled this section. This section that got mined out. I will do that with a chunk. Okay, so now that they're all coming in, I'm going to temporarily stay everyone inside so that they warm up. And then once these raiders are close, I'll have them conscript outwards and defeat the Reapers. But that's a lot of raids back to back to back. This is a pretty common experience. I did say that, well, maybe I didn't say it, but Randy, I did feel like was treating me way too nicely for a bit. And now here he is doing the exact opposite, punishing me as much as he can. Okay, I'm going to have everyone queued and ready to man the defenses. Let's get these turrets on. Okay, it's time. Ooh, that was a lucky shot, I'm sure. Yeah, I think a bad shot to the CPU. Alright, again, I'm going to collapse back inside, trying to minimize the amount of damage that my guys take, because we are going to be obviously overrun. We don't have enough turrets for this. And I'm going to be remotely using dead power. I hope that's a concept familiar to all of you. Flipping the turrets on and off, trying to keep them alive, but some of these turrets might end up going. So Fujin, taking a step up. Could you guys? No, they're just going to destroy it. That's okay. Alright, Bishop is still hanging out there. I don't know where Metalhead exactly is going. Oh, you are going for cover. Why are you shooting a sessile tree? I have no idea. Alright, Bash. Temporarily, I'm going to have everyone unscheduled so they're free. I'm obviously going to need to engineer defensive solutions so that we don't have situations like this where they're taking cover behind me. I think the enemy is too far away for Raptor to hit, so I'm going to have Raptor go inside, because there's really no point in him being out here. And then Bash, you're minorly hypothermic. JD, I'm going to have you repair that. Bash, you stay, you get warm. I'm trying to repair these turrets so that they aren't going to get blown up. This one is out of ammo, so I'm just going to shut it off. Raptor, actually, that's something you could do. Rearm it. Now, if I want to draw these enemies closer, let's do that. Let me turn off all of the turrets here and draw them in. Unfortunately, Raptor's going to be out there. So now I'm luring them closer, and that's just going to give me a better shot as they get closer. And I'll turn this turret on and this turret on and open fire. You can lure enemies like that. If you give them no valid targets, they will get closer to you temporarily. And it's possible that we take out Metalhead. Yep, we do take out Metalhead that way. Okay, let's do it again. I'm rather hypothermic, so let's do it again where we draw him close. Turning off all the turrets, giving no valid targets. I'm going to pick Bash, who's the least hypothermic maybe, to stand in the door here. I am letting a lot of the heat out. But that's so that I am offering, let me explain this very, very carefully. I'm offering Bishop a valid line of sight, a valid path to get to Bash. If I stood on the other side of the door, Bishop here would not be lured because he would not have a valid path to get to me. But the fact that Bash is standing here means that Bishop does have a valid path, which means that Bishop won't just stand back and keep firing at my turrets. He'll actually proceed towards me. Bash is in the door where, yes, I'm letting a lot of the heat out, but he's not becoming significantly more hypothermic while all my other guys are warming up. Now that Bishop is easily inside the kill radius of these turrets, I can cycle them all back on, send my gunners out, and finish this. Yep, finish him off. There he goes. He's dead. Perfect. Okay, so schedule. Let's stay close for everybody. And I'm going to have everybody actually temporarily warm up first. And let's close this door behind us. So there was, a non... Oh, God, your name was TikTok. It was a pretty significant raid. It wasn't a 0-person raid, right? And we did pretty reasonably well. We only took 1 springbat bruise, which is, I would say, a decent result. All right, so Gabe. I want you mining. Gabe's also very moody, so I have to be careful of his mood. Because if he has a mental breakdown, that's really dangerous, especially given the temperatures. Scheduling everybody to stay close. And Bash, I would like you to butcher the skeletons so we don't have to look at the ugly, dead corpses. Alright, all of these turrets should be powered off, saving me a little bit of power. I also am going to want to haul on these pack of survival meals. These skeletons, sort of by design, will occasionally have good stuff that they bring with them because I know that their gear gets death acidified and their weapons are soulbound or bio-coded. So as a result, to offset the fact that it doesn't, that I make it very, very, very difficult for you to make significant profit off of death, they will carry in drugs like the wake up or meals, and that's by design. Okay, so we are getting these corpses. Everybody else is asleep, and I believe this is the last one. And as you can see, it was a 88 steel for all those. So it wasn't a ton of steel. Obviously, that's only a few slags worth of steel. But it gives you the ability to get rid of their corpses without burying them or burning them. Which has its own little net benefit. Now, smelting their weapons, however, as I will demonstrate after I get this slag, is not really... Well, hold on, let me switch this around. Is not really beneficial at all. We are not... so right now we have 125 steel here. And this should not yield slag or steel at all. Their weapons aren't made of steel. And that's, again, by design. They're not really supposed to drop their weapons, but they do it anyway. And, yeah. The only way I could do it is... their weapons aren't manufactured. So as a result, they don't really drop anything. Alright, so Bash is fully healed. That was a pretty quick healing. JD, I don't believe you're getting full yield. No, you're not. Gabe, I do believe you are. You are. Okay, so Gabe, you're going to finish all JD's mining. JD, I'm actually going to have you repair and replace some of this stuff instead. Now, it is getting... warmer is kind of a joke, but it is getting warmer. As you can see, it's not below negative 100 Celsius or 150 Fahrenheit, which means that we are heading into the summer months. If you take a look at my base, as you can see, the base is significantly ill-equipped to deal with heat. Only the freezer and a little section of the farm have air conditioners, so it's something that I'm definitely going to need to build. And in doing, knowing that it is coming, I'm going to need to significantly significantly improve the amount of components and steel that I have to be able to air condition properly. I'm going to have JD and Gabe heat up a bit to get better yields when they're mining uranium. Because once this uranium is gone, it's going to be a little tricky for me to obtain more, right? It's not going to be that easy. So to stay close, I'm going to add this here so that I can get this slag and wall that back up. All right, we are still pretty cold. Raptor is about halfway to microelectronics. Oh, literally just past the halfway mark. That's going to be pretty significant. Once you get the comms console up, the comms console is going to be able to significantly benefit you with like trade opportunities and things like that. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay, we are ready to go. Now, I will eventually set up a proper trickle feeder for the kill box, that's here. A trickle feeder is sort of like a sandbag maze to cause enemies to come in one by one. It's just simply too cold right now for me to do a trickle feeder. Like, I just am not going to be able to stay outdoors long enough to get it constructed, which is why I haven't really made it a priority. And another thing I would like to add is some sort of fallback deadfall trap maze in case I get overrun and my my kill box of sorts fails. So those are two sort of things I do intend to add at some point. All right, so JD is getting rid of the slag that the guy that was, I'd call it fleeing, but he wasn't not actually fleeing. He was just leaving. Because the Reapers are not set up to flee. They don't, as you can see, normal human raiders do flee when they've lost 50% of their raid strength. And as I'm sure you've noticed, Reapers do not. They don't flee. They don't flinch. They can't be captured. You know, they're death machines. They're Reapers. I call them Reapers, fully knowing what they are. Okay, I'm going to have Gabe warm up so he gets full yield. Bashir is working on the redundant cabling. So now, as you can see, any one part of this fails, and there is still some redundancy. It would be a little bit more redundant if I did that, I guess, because there's still some points of failure, but we'll get that done in a sec. So JD, I don't actually want you to finish off that ore. That's for Gabe to do. And cargo pods. Randy being nice again. Ooh, raptor flesh too. And not... It's... So, as the crow flies, it's not that far from the base. But... Because of the... Because of this mountain here, which I don't intend to remove, getting there is a little tricky. Same with the agave. Once it warms up a little bit more, another day or two into April, May, into the spring, I could definitely make a run for it. But for now, that might as well. That's a little bit too dangerous. I'm going to have Bash haul the rest of the slag, and then we'll throw a limestone wall. Fortunately, it was one little overhead mountain tile, and I'm just going to throw the limestone wall right in the middle of it. All right, you're going inside. Gabe, you are coming outside to finish off this uranium. So this is going to be, until I find another node of uranium, which I'm not going to hold my breath, it's going to be the only uranium I have access to. Obviously. Okay, Bash is hypothermic. Seriously hypothermic. We'll have you stay inside. Here we go with some crop yields. I would like to get maybe a little bit more cotton than what I'm currently growing, so that I can make cowboy hats for the summer. I didn't manage to complete... oh, yeah, actually I have some cloth. I didn't manage to complete the parkas for the winter, but I can work towards cowboy hats for the summer. So let's set up 4 cowboy hats and make them all out of cloth. I'm going to turn off the light so we work in the cold, and JD should start that soon. There we go. So these cowboy hats will help to protect us from the searing hot summers. And I just want to get started ahead of time. Oh, no you don't. I'm going to temporarily tell Gabe to work only. I want the crops to be sown now rather than in the morning. I know he's really tired. But as long as his mood isn't going to break, he'll be fine. And same with JD. JD can have a meal and go. Okay, so now, hold on. Now you can go to sleep. There we go. So there's still some of this rice that is, for all intents and purposes, basically fully grown. Awesome construction. So Awesome Construction, High Stellarch Emperor Tengu of United Cities requesting us to build an 8x16 monument. It will cost about 260 material, and we can get honor, components, and silver, or goodwill for it. I will go for components, which is the same benefit I took last time. And this colossal structure here is definitely larger than the last one. I suppose I could put it here, and then it will stay relatively protected, especially if I add a wall here. I do need to get rid of these sessile trees. I know I mentioned that a few times, but let me cut them down. They're not fully grown, so I'm not going to get good wood yields. And yes, they do yield wood when you harvest them. And you can also farm them if you get access to natural soil tiles, like you could out here. They are farmable, or tree nurseries, I guess. You don't really have a tree farm, you have a tree nursery. But they are nurseryable. Let's pretend that's a word. So Gabe's going to finish up the uranium ore. So if I do have a large construction project coming, I'm definitely going to need to ramp up my steel that I'm getting. So I'm going to have JD start to slag. Bash is going to haul the monument. This giant monument is going to be made of steel. And I'm sure Bash will get that started soon. And then when I'm out of steel, no, just build that. When I'm out of steel, what I would be able to do is to have Bash do some slagging and JD go back to cowboy hats. So these bedrooms are just decent bedrooms. They're pretty fireproof though. It's all marble. I know the marble and the steel walls look pretty seamless, but yeah, it is all technically marble. So the vents and the doors are flammable, but minimally compared to the rest of it. We have 2 fully charged battery banks now. That's good for backup power. It is negative 38 Celsius in here, so it's not super hypothermic worthy, which is good. We'll be able to stay a little warm. I'm going to force this door open. And then this also could be a pretty good spillover stockpile once I have it constructed. for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and haul the wood to the low stockpile. And we have a flash storm. You are very hypothermic, so go inside. JD is okay. Gabe is okay. Gabe is doing a significant amount of mining. Now, it is also possible that I get to this raptor flesh and agave by going through the mountain and building a door on the other side. If I was to do that, I might want to dig the door here, which I will start to work on. Okay, my hypothermia hasn't dropped a lot, but I'll get to work anyway. I'm also, for the people that were worried about my wood decaying, I am storing it indoors. I've taken a while to do it, but I will be doing it. Alright, so if I have the stay close zone, I will need to include this here, like that. I'm just making sure that it is all painted correctly. Now, there is a lot of steel in here that I could utilize, but it's going to be a lot easier to utilize that once it's not so cold. All right, JD, you're no longer forced to do anything. And we're getting more cotton. So this cotton can go to backup clothing. Bash, for instance, his shirt is about... well, it's exactly 2/5 to tattered. And Raptor has inspired Recruit, which is great, because I haven't met really another human. I guess I've seen a few visitors or whatever, but they didn't stick around very long. So we'll have backup clothing, and then also backup dusters and stuff like that. We will also want to get those parkas. Oh, dang. JD, you're digging from the wrong side. Glad I caught him. Luckily, he's also the best insulated of all of us, so he's not going to freeze to death, but I'm going to cancel the mining here of this compacted machinery until we, you know, go the correct way. I'm almost tempted to have him... no, I'm not going to... nah, yeah, actually, it should be fine. Unrestrict, haul the steel. That's a pretty good amount of steel, and I'm pretty safe in doing that. The flash storm didn't really have any effect. More cargo parts. Randy, what are you gonna... oh, and it's... so we have hypothermic slowdown for our blood spiders here. There's actually a few blood spiders. How close are these to the base? They're somewhat close. So they're in hypothermic slowdown, and they're going to be in hypothermic slowdown until it warms back up. But here are some hops if we wanted to jumpstart our beer brewing. I haven't been growing hops because I don't have that technology for beer brewing yet. As you can see, it hasn't been researched. I figured that microelectronics was a little bit more important. But I would very much like to be a beer brewer at some point. So that is a technology that is soon going to be utilized. All right, so here Gabe is mining the rest of that tunnel out. Oh, and I'm going to have him eat indoors. I'm just going to force it, even though it makes him a lot less productive. My workshop is only mediocre. One thing that you all mentioned, which I'd like to do but I don't have enough material for at the moment, is to put shelves and stuff to keep the slag from being ugly. But again, I don't exactly have the material to do that at the moment. I don't want to waste my... oh, you're going for it. Okay. Well, if you're going for it, I'd rather have you, JD, go for the hops. He's not currently restricted, which is fine. But I want him to grab the hops instead. so that when I do get beer brewing, I can utilize it immediately. And actually, let's go do that. It will help with mood. Maybe we get some more inspirations. I am going to Caravan trick the hops here because I don't want to necessarily wait for all these trips here. All right, and then another thing I'm going to do with this this bug is I'm going to animal spot in here. I'm not actually planning on rescuing him. It's just carrying him to where we can kill him more easily. This is just so that I don't have to make multiple trips. Because then I can just, boop. Done. So we have a blood spider that is unconscious that we can very, very easily kill at a moment's notice. Okay, looks like we don't have proper storage for the hops, which is not really a surprise. I don't have a lot of storage. So what I'm going to do for now is put the hops in here. So this is raw resource, plant matter, hops, cycled leaf, and smoke leaf all is welcome. And then here, no more plant matter. So that should get it to be refrigerated and keep it from being ruined. Sounds like that bug just died. Okay, we are at negative 60s or 80s, depending on Fahrenheit or Celsius, which is pretty reasonable. It also looks like we are going to get a run of, what are you hunting the other one? Let's see, your current health, I would prefer you to go over here, and we might caravan these blood spiders back. So bash, haul all the tea leaves. And we're not currently tailoring, so I can turn the light back on. Alright, another caravan trick. Hope it doesn't bother you, but it is efficient. Apparently I can't load it into the caravan because it's too heavy. I can load the mega spider. But these little guys are, wow, they're actually way more massive than I thought they'd be. They're heavy spiders, full of your blood. Okay, Gabe is just about done mining a clear path all the way through. Taking a look at the stay close zone. There, setting up right. And JD, you are shivering. Stay inside for just a second. And then unrestrict. So it's not cold enough outside for me to worry about him getting significantly hypothermic while doing long distance tracking, because he's warm until negative 50 and it's negative 70. So it is a little too cold for him, but not enough that it's a problem. So he can venture a little bit further. And actually there's an argument to be made where it would be better if I just hauled this raptor flesh and maybe caravaned the raptor flesh back and the agave. So let's do that. Anytime I use this caravan trick, I generally do get comments of like, oh, why don't you use pick up and haul? Because pick up and haul is effortless exploitation. This might be an exploitation of RimWorld's engine, caravanning engine, but it's still default RimWorld. I'm not going into dev menu or anything. I'm just making it easier. So how hypothermic am I? 6%? I'm almost tempted to break into these ship chunks. What I will do is I will blow up this long abandoned ship part that's just generating snow, and then head home, because this thing disappears instantly. And then it's not annoying and not confusing. And we'll head home. For everybody else, they're all stay close. Gabe is now going for the this compacted machinery. Let's haul this back. And then I'm going to double lock it. I'll spread this out actually even more. I'm going to double airlock it in case enemies bust one door or something. I don't know. It doesn't hurt to be cautious. All right, in the kitchen here, I'm going to store the fine meals instead. So no fine meals here. Oh no, I'll do fine meals, but no pack of survival meals. Pack of survival meals will have to find their own spot. Probably in this soon-to-be storage area. Now, one could make the argument, given their current... Ooh, another raid. Transport pods. They will prepare a while. Okay. So, we've got 2 brawlers. And... Oh, this is all brawlers, but slightly significantly more of them. Now, the other worry is... Oops. I haven't... I don't have steel right now because I've been building this this project, and I haven't cut down those trees. So I'm going to wake Gabe up. I'm actually going to give Gabe a fine meal, and then JD, when he wakes up, another fine meal because their moves are a little lower. And Bash, I'm going to do the same. And then Gabe, the first thing I want you to do is cut down these sessile trees that could offer cover to the enemies. And I will speed time up a little bit so that this isn't yet another cliffhanger. I wouldn't do that. Well, I would want to not to try to do that twice to you. Can't promise anything. Sometimes it will happen, but... Okay, let's stay inside. Bashir is making some more fine meals, I believe. Yep. Alright, I definitely don't have the resources to pour into additional mini turrets. All of my resources have gone to this construction project. So I'm trying to calculate. These guys will probably get to me first, and then these will filter in. So we have Robbie and Calculator, and then up here we've got Nanashi, Delic, Arc, Dayman, and A2. My turrets are all fully repaired. Some of them aren't reloaded, which is why I have Bash working to reload them now. Especially this southern one. So I'm going to rearm it now. Looks like we'll have a run of heal root pretty soon, which is good. Okay, here they come. I'm going to get everyone ready. Fire these up. Okay, it's go time. Curious if any of them have gear. Yep, some pack of survival meals. And these guys, I don't have this constructed, so they will shortcut. Oh wow, that's a lucky shot, I'm sure. Yep, reactor destroyed. Just like last time, I'm gonna fall back to cover, trying to minimize the damage I receive. And have Bash attempt, because as you can see, as I'm turning them off, they lose interest. Uh-oh, but this one's gonna go. Raptor, take a step forward so you could fire. Okay, my turrets are just getting walloped. Raptor, move back. Bash, move back. There we go. Let's get this off. I definitely need... Okay, they're definitely destroying this one. What I need right now is just more firepower, and I can't afford it. And they are... Okay, they destroyed two. That sucks. But hey, that's life. There we go. There is the ending of that one. So we lost 3 turrets, and soon I'm going to run out of uranium to replace them. But given the current temperature that's happening, I will be able to do a trickle feeder soon. And that's going to really help to mitigate some of the damage I receive. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and are enjoying your own play-alongs. If you are doing so, feel free to hop on Discord and chat about it. We have a lot of people on Discord chatting about Frost and Fire, sharing tips and stories. Rhadamant.com has the link to that. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you all next episode. Farewell, everybody.